The edition on Spotlight, the Evening Network 939 Banama Radio 24. Have I confused you enough? If I have, let's move on to some information today. Every time you say Jamaica, the first name that comes to mind is Robert Nesta Marley. And then from there on, music like dancehall and the other kinds of music in Jamaica moved on after the apparent coming together of Peter Tosh, Bob Marley, and a lot of musicians and people who are dealing with sound systems in Jamaica back in the late 60s, early 70s. Well, to find out more about music from Jamaica and how it's moved on, let's introduce ourselves to Triple D, who's currently in Kuala Lumpur and is promoting his album with a fantastic song. It's called Nice and Slow, taken off the album Unity. Triple D, very good evening to you, my friend. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Well, thank you for having me on the show.
Well, I was grooving to your song. Not that I can dance, not that I can, Malaysians, Asians, we're not good at dancing, but yeah, I know it was embarrassing for you looking at me dancing, but it was groovy. Anyway, well, tell us a little bit about, your music and how, is this your first album, your debut album as such?
Yeah, this is my first album, and it's kind of dancehall pattern and originated from Jamaica,
right,
as you know. And I mean, dancehall is something more or less things to hype up the youths, and it's a kind of music that gives you feel, that makes you really want to move when you listen to a dancehall. But actually, it's all about kind of English being twisted around. And which Jamaicans will normally call it patois.
Patois,
you understand? It's a kind of English, but just being twisted around.
Right.
And that is the normal general language that everybody uses in Jamaica. But don't get me wrong, I'm not a Jamaican, but I'm more or less into it.
You're not a Jamaican, but you're more or less into it. So you learn the culture.
Yeah, because I lived in Jamaica for quite a couple of years and kind of adapted to their system actually. Yeah.
Right. And what's the music scene like there? How long has it been since you left Jamaica?
Actually, since I left Jamaica, it has been a couple of years now. Because right here in Malaysia, at the same time trying to promote my album, at the same time studying music again at the same time.
Right.
So it's a kind of two things joined together.
Interesting that you say studying music. Do you major in a certain instrument as such?
Actually, it's not major in the instrument, but more or less in production.
Production. You're doing a lot of production work. You're learning production work.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And that will, in some way, bring down the production cost when it comes to putting an album together. You can put ideas by yourself together before actually going and.
You are just right. Yeah. Actually, you see, trying to like most of my song, you understand me.
Right.
The first level was being produced by me.
Right.
I kind of programmed the beats, arranged the beats. You understand me?
Yeah.
Come up with my lyrics.
Right.
Take it to a well-standard.
You want to bring down studio time to the minimum.
Minimum, exactly. Because I mean, it's a kind of save cost and. Save time too,
right.
So I mean, yeah.
Let's talk a little bit more about reggae dancehall, or what's it? You said they use the Jamaican patois to where the lyrics are concerned. Yeah. So in a simple line, how would you change a line in English to ragamuffin kind of rap?
Okay, yeah. You see, it's actually quite easy. You see, like if I want to tell somebody, like now, if I want to tell you sit down, my friend, I would just tell you settle down.
Settle down.
Yeah, and like there's a lot of words that quite interesting. You understand me? Like if I want to say my girl, I say my daughter.
My daughter means my girl.
Yeah, means my
I'm
girl.
going to use it in Kuala Lumpur. Hopefully I don't get slapped.
No, nobody's going to slap you because actually this is Jamaican times.
Yeah.
Like right now, like the way we having this kind of live interview, and if I have to speak Jamaican, maybe probably most people will not understand it.
Right,
but you understand me? But me have to go on to tell you a local thing, that means I have to go on and tell you something. I mean, this is Jamaican way of speaking.
Right.
I mean, this is just a general way that most Jamaicans speak, but they still speak good English. Actually.
Yeah, of course, they speak good English, but they've like how we speak our la and so on.
Exactly.
When I get out of the studio, this is not how I'll speak. I'll speak like myself. What are you doing there?
Yeah.
So
right.
it's exactly the same
thing.
But put in music.
Exactly, it's the same thing. But you see, like the dancehall, the reggae itself is more or less using the colloquial language of Jamaica, which is patois, and singing. You understand me? Like in Jamaica, we've got two kinds of music, dancehall and root reggae. When we talk of root reggae, we're talking of Bob Marley, Peter Tosh, Black Uhuru, and so on and so forth. But when we talk of dancehall now, we're talking about Shaggy, Sean Paul, Beanie Man, Bounty Killer and so on and so forth, you know.
Right.
So in Jamaica, it's just that kind of two different kind of music. It's either dancehall or root reggae.
So, you know, as a reggae dancehall artist, who are your influences? You know, who influences you? Who inspires you to write your music?
Thank you. If I have to say or talk about my influence, man, Beenie Man is the ultimate, man. I love Beenie Man.
Beenie Man, yeah?
Beenie Man, yeah. I love Beenie Man. I kind of love Shaggy too.
Right.
You understand?
I mean, Shaggy made it big again, you know. I mean, it went down, then Shaggy came back.
It came back again. But you see, but like Beenie Man is somebody that has been in music industry for a very long time. You understand? There's so many songs that most people don't even know about that is being released.
People know the commercial stuff.
The commercial stuff, yeah. You see, like somebody like Shabba Rank too.
Right.
Shabba Rank too used to be a big, artist, but unfortunately he went down. And nobody.
Yeah, I know. 20 years ago when I was playing clubs, he was a big guy then. Yeah.
So I mean, those that really motivated me. You understand me?
But do you work with musicians, or do you solely work with computers and samples, so on and so forth?
No, actually, I will not say I don't work with musicians. I work with few musicians that they are not artists per se. I mean, they are not well-known artists per se, but these are guys that you normally do gigs around, but they know more about music. Okay, okay. And the thing is, most times, like if I compose my songs, and I used to sometimes, call this guy. His name is Smokey, and he comes around and we try to do one or two things together. You understand me? Because I mean, he does gigs all around, so he knows a little bit about more, music. So sometimes, I mean, I seek advice from him. You understand me? I'm not saying that he's too perfect, but being a friend of mine, sometimes I mean, it's normal. Go to your friend, try to get one or two advice. And it's quite normal. But mostly, I do things with computers.
With computers, you work on your own. So you spend half your day on your own, just going through samples,
creating the samples, creating beats and looping samples from
loops, samples, dubs, the whole works, right? Now, having said that, in Kuala Lumpur, how big is the scene here?
But actually, in Kuala Lumpur, when we talk of dancehall, I mean, it doesn't move because most people don't know.
Dancehall.
Most people don't know about dancehall actually. But when you talk of root reggae, I mean, everybody, the moment you say Jamaica, everybody say Bob Marley. Bob Marley has been the figurehead of reggae music. So whenever you say reggae, everybody say Bob Marley. But when you say dancehall, they find it a little bit to catch up with.
So you're now promoting your debut album. It's called Unity, and your single off that album is called Nice and Slow. Right. Are you only promoting it here? Or how do you promote it? How do new artists, the new generation of artists are amazing. They do everything themselves, They don't need to have, someone doing their PR and someone booking the shows. Everyone does everything themselves, and that's what makes people like Dub Foundation all really strong artists in the UK. And I'm sure in a genre like this, you really have to push to make your name, because the stable of artists is just so many. But I mean, to put your name up there, you have to go out and perform a lot. So do you do a lot of performances?
Actually, I used to do performance before, even before I came back from Turkey down to Malaysia, because I went there for roughly about 6 months gigs. Okay, still do most of my stuff from clubs to clubs. Okay, so I've been trying to push it hard. And this is one of the push that I'm pushing right now in this place. And I've uploaded some of my songs in some of these websites and things. So I know it's quite hard to push it right here, but I'm kind of forcing it because I know the youth of today, maybe the older ones, they might not really like it, but the youths, the upcoming youths, definitely in some places some clubs that I've been, I've heard them playing like dancehall, like Shabba Rank, Shaggy's, and I mean, I saw the way the youths respond to it, so that's why I decided to push it hard.
If you were to move away from this genre, if you were to change the style of your music a little bit, what you're going to do, what kind of music would you move into? We'll come back with that just after we listen to a little bit more of your song, Nice and Slow. Go for the news, and we'll come back after that, and we'll find out more about Triple D right here on Spotlight 939, Banama Radio 24. In the meantime, here's his brand new single. It's called Nice and Slow. It's taken off the album Unity. We'll tell you how to get a copy. Triple D on 939 Banama Radio 24. This is the Evening Network. Good evening, KL.
Don't you want to know? This is how we roll.
Okay. Like it.